We've gotten a reprieve. We've got a tax code that's beneficial. Take advantage of it. When do you go shopping? When you're paying full price or when taxes are on sale? Hi friends, Colin Richards here, president and founder of Lord & Richards, and I'm continuing a series in this episode of the Lord & Richards Show called Healthy, Wealthy, and Happy for Life. And we started with wealth simply because it's a foundation to getting you access to the tools and resources you need to be in better health and to obtain greater happiness. But it is certainly not the most important thing in life. Money will not buy happiness, we know that, but it can pave the way and give you an easier time obtaining it. And so in our previous segments, we've talked about your 20s, we've talked about your 30s and 40s, we've talked about the early years right before retirement, your 50s and early 60s. And I want to just add now in this final segment on Wealthy for Life, what it means to make sure that that plan that you've been working with Lord & Richards to build, that plan covers all the critical pieces. It needs to have risk management. I've been talking to you so much about this lately. Lord & Richards has implemented the safety percentage, and our clients are scrambling. They love this, and so we can't get them in fast enough to get this in place. You say, what is that? Well, basically, during your financial independence review, a meeting where we sit down and assess your readiness for financial independence or retirement, we'll develop with you, guiding us towards a percentage, a safety percentage plan. That will be a level at which we will not allow your portfolio to drop beyond. So if you tell us in the course of our dialogue, Colin, I never want to see my portfolio lose more than 10% or 20% or 30%, we're going to get that down in writing. We're going to build and design a barbell portfolio, look this up in our previous segments, that protects you on the one hand and provides growth, that also has more aggressive growth on the other hand. And when we do that, we're going to back test that and make sure that you no longer have the exposure that almost everybody that walks through our doors has when we do these back tests. Most people don't realize the load of risk that you're carrying. Your advisor says you're in a 60-40 portfolio, you're in a moderate portfolio, and people are stunned to see that if we repeat past historical financial collapses, you could lose 20, 30, 40, 50%. They're stunned to see that. And what we promise at Lord & Richards is we're never going to let that happen. And so we're going to put our money where our mouth is. This is unprecedented in our industry. You know, there's people out there who say, well, we only win when you win. Well, what happens when you lose? They still win. They're collecting their fees. Lord & Richards will cut off our fees when you pass beyond that safety percentage. So we're motivated, unlike anybody you've ever worked for or with, to protect and guard as well as grow that portfolio. And we're going to do it together with you. That is a promise nobody else is making, and we will stand behind it in writing. You can get more details when we sit down and connect together. Secondly, we're going to develop a comprehensive income plan to make sure you never run out of money before you run out of life. That is so vital, folks. And most people go into retirement with no guarantees at all. They're just hoping their dividends will come out. They're hoping their withdrawals of their stocks will be constant, and they're not going to be. Dividends are going to fluctuate. Companies are going to collapse. Your portfolio without the proper protection is going to be sliced in half. We already know this. We've lived through this over and over again in history. Why not build a plan in advance to make sure you never run out of money before you run out of life? We're going to make sure you or your spouse aren't bankrupted by healthcare problems. A written healthcare plan is going to be developed to make sure of that. And no, I'm not just talking about buying expensive long-term care insurance. There are a score of ways that we can protect you and develop a plan in advance, so that your living spouse who continues past you isn't bankrupted by your healthcare costs. We're going to develop an estate plan to make sure that what you have built up over life passes to the people that you love and not defaulting to the government and hospitals and nursing homes. Do you understand that without that type of plan, that's what's going to happen? It's going to go right to those places. But here's the cool part. We can have you sit down with a complimentary visit with our attorney. And our attorney, if he develops a will or trust or other important documents for you, will not charge you what you're getting charged out there. Drastic reduction in rate. And then finally, we're going to help you develop a tax plan. And this is what I promised in our last segment. You need to be working with a firm that prioritizes tax mitigation. I'm not talking about tax avoidance, right? Putting your money in some kind of illegal shelter or shaky concept. We've been doing this for years because the biggest expense in life is generally taxes. Now, you're not going to be bankrupted by them. Long-term care can do that. Healthcare crisis, that's the biggest cause of bankruptcy. But taxes are one of the largest expenses. And if you don't get a plan in place, I'm telling you, you're going to pay more than you owe. I don't want you to pay more than you owe. I helped clients this week, showed them how they could save hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes just with some simple shifts of their money from their right pocket to their left pocket to turn that money from forever tax to never again tax. And yes, if you've built up a balance in your IRAs, your 401ks, and so forth, we've got some work to do, right? We go through a process called conversion, not a religious conversion, but rather a financial conversion where we get those taxes out of the way right now while brackets are still low. Yes, brackets are low right now, folks. You've got to do this, okay, before things revert back. We've gotten a reprieve. We've got a tax code that's beneficial. Take advantage of it. When do you go shopping? When you're paying full price or when taxes are on sale? And so we're also going to show business owners how to begin to draw money out of their businesses that doesn't affect their ordinary income tax rate. Most business owners, if they're prospering and doing well, aren't willing to take much money out of their business because they don't want to get taxed on it, right? Well, we can tell you whether you're in an S Corp, an LLC, a C Corp, we can show you how to personally derive income from your business without paying a dime of taxes. That's my promise to you. We have in Lord & Richards Tax Services the ability to even prepare your tax returns if that's of interest so that your financial and your tax plans work intimately together. All of this and so much more, and we don't charge for those services. Yes, we charge a fee on the assets that are under management, but it's the same as everybody else. So folks, I'm ready, willing, and to help you along with my team. It's just going to start with a simple visit, and that starts with a phone call.